Hey guys, what's up? We're back. This is the last podcast on the left. This is where I kick it with my friends, kill time, and speak what's on my mind. I haven't been doing that like catchphrase.
Kill
For
time
the last
speaking on my mind.
Yeah, I would definitely. It's funny. I put so much thought into that, and it was literally I kept like changing it and wording it around, and I'm like, is the catchphrase too much or whatever?
No, I think it rolls off the tongue.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
And so I hadn't used it in like I said, a couple of the episodes. So we're back, and I've kind of been all over the place, so we haven't really had time to get a lot of people in. Like I have a couple things like involved for the future where I want to have like everyone from Encounter, like the Encounter team, where we can talk about how we started Encounter and all this stuff. But it's actually funny, man. Like, not a lot of people know that like we started a podcast.
Oh yes, we did.
We did the exact same thing.
It went on a great run. It really did. Four episodes? 3?
I thought it was 2.
No, we had more than 2.
Because we did the one where it was like the 4 of us and Josh wasn't there, and then we did one upstairs.
We did 2 upstairs, I think.
2 upstairs?
I think so.
I remember the last one Rob was supposed to edit it, so.
I think we only
posted
2. I think we posted 2, but we made 3.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But wasn't that kind of your idea to start the podcast with everyone?
No, I thought it was you or Greg's, but.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of killed it on it, but.
Well, I just remember that we had like the booty cam because we tried to set it up with two different cameras
and mics.
And but the weird thing is that was it the mic or which camera where like you would wave your hand?
Yeah.
And follow you.
Yeah, I had a auto focusing camera at the time.
Yeah.
So it would kind of like see your face and change its angles based on where you're sitting.
Yeah.
And trying to get that to work while also doing a podcast was a bit of a hassle.
Yeah.
You could say.
It was a challenge.
But
and
it was fun.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. But just getting us all in a room too, like we called it literally 5 Guys Live. Maybe I should do a podcast where we have all 5 of us and we just go crazy. That'd be awesome.
5 Guys reunion.
Yeah. Yeah. And even for 5 Guys Live, we didn't even have a pod with all of us there.
Yeah.
Which is funny because we'll do Wednesdays, we'll get this all figured out. And we just never.
Happened. No.
It never happened, man.
Classic 20-year-old guys.
Yeah. Literally.
Great.
And on a random note, man, so I was thinking about this because when we were hanging out like earlier playing Madden, which I got 2 out of 3 wins. So I just got to flex that because we all know when we were playing Madden and FIFA when we were all living together, I was literally like a piñata. Everyone was just freaking beating on me left and right.
Well, don't forget that when we started playing a lot, I also was like a piñata, and we would go back and forth. But then I learned a couple tricks here and there, but I haven't been playing a lot recently, so yeah. Not good again.
Yeah, all I do is PGA now, which is like so boring, but it's just like kind of a way to unwind for the day.
Mm-hmm.
But you're actually one of the people in my life that I've known like the longest. Because you think about it, man. So like obviously I have like a couple of my church friends and whatever, but we knew each other when I was like, so when you were in
MCA.
Yeah.
So
I was in 3rd grade and you were in 1st, right? Because when I graduated, you were a sophomore when I was a senior. Right?
Yeah, and you're in my sister's class.
Yeah, which is funny because like we didn't really talk to each other. It was that funny stuff. This was back when your sister didn't
talk,
didn't even speak. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but anyways, man, thanks for coming on.
Oh yeah.
We were just talking about some like awesome things about like faith and community that I kind of wanted to continue talking about and stuff because I think you have a lot of really good, cool things to say. We actually started a Bible study for people that don't know actually in COVID, which was funny because I mentioned this in the David episode, but the first time like I was working on one of my first and probably only sermon at the time at Bonhoeffer's, and me and Josh were working on our sermon like with laptops, or I don't even know if I had a laptop knowing it because I don't have a laptop right now. I was probably using like literally a pen and paper. And you ended up walking up to us because we were at Bonhoeffer's, and then Robert was there. So all 4 of us were talking, and that's when I had met David.
Yeah.
At the time, which is interesting because he was the one who was like, "Oh, I'd love to do a Bible study." And I'm like, well, it's like that was the day that like
COVID
the
happened.
the COVID lockdown
Everything
started
started getting locked down. Yeah.
literally the next day.
Yep.
Because
I
Bonhoeffer's was
remember.
closing. Yeah. And we stayed
Um,
like really late and everything. Yeah.
Same day, we made a TikTok at Bonhoeffer's that got like 7 million views.
That was the
That
day?
was the same
Yeah.
day, dude. And it was the last day they were open for like 3 months. Just a
Yeah.
crazy random day. But
Yeah, that was interesting. And
yeah, that's when I met David. Was that when you met David?
that's
too?
when I met David too.
Oh, I thought you guys already knew each other.
No,
when I met.
so
That's funny.
I mentioned it too
I never
once
knew
again on the podcast. Is that he knew Josh somehow? So I'm
Oh,
like, who is
okay.
this kid?
Okay.
Like, in a funny way. And now like
Yeah.
we have this awesome relationship and stuff. I was just over at his house for dinner, meatballs and beer,
Mm-hmm.
which is like couldn't be a better thing. So, but anyways, I thought when I was first meeting David, I never thought it would blossom into what it would be.
Yeah.
But at that time, like a week or two later, through Zoom,
Mm-hmm.
we had like 10 people in our COVID Bible
Yeah.
study group, which was so funny, man, because we were, once again, me and you were just mentioning this a couple minutes ago upstairs. There was so much fruit that like came out of that. That's
Yeah.
when I started really understanding what, the joy of the Lord was and having that like that next level spiritual like vigor in
Yeah.
my life, you
Yeah.
know?
The hunger for the Spirit and the
Yeah.
Word. Yeah. I think it was a really cool time. Like, I think God just worked a lot of interesting ways. Just when the world shut down, He turned on in a lot of people's lives.
Huh.
I saw in
Yeah.
a lot more people's lives than just our group, just people from college and stuff. But
Right.
it was just awesome to see. And it was awesome to do that Bible study over Zoom. I think we went through Philippians
Yeah.
and Ephesians.
Mm.
I still remember to this day because I have the Bible I was using then, like, highlighted in, like, 3 different
Oh
colors.
yeah,
I'm
nice, man.
I'll look back on
Yeah.
it time to time, like, wow, was I smarter back then? Like, oh.
Yeah, I know. It's like it's funny because when you look at like different like parts of your life in general, like, oh, I was like an idiot back then. I was such a dumbass. All this stuff, and then even like I feel like spiritually, it almost gets heightened.
Yeah.
Because going through like in a funny way to use the very basic Christian metaphor, the hills and valleys. It's like even earlier this year, I was like, man, I did not like my take on like this, or I really missed the ball on that, or like I'm talking about things that I didn't even really experience or ever think that there was more than just one side of things.
Yeah.
Especially spiritually, a lot of things that I'm kind of working through as well is like not everything is black and white. There's honestly, and it's frustrating to some way. This is why God gave us, the Holy Spirit. I really believe is that there are a lot of gray areas in life where it's like, because in my own personal way, I'm like, God, why is some of these things besides once you get past the basics of faith, which once again, like the basics will always be there and you always got to have that, because like if you lose the main thing of the gospel and just Jesus' love and his personal relationship with us and the way he wants us to react to the world, yeah, it just can get very you can kind of get all over the place at times.
Yeah, I think that's one attribute of God that I've really been grateful for lately, just his patience and all of my ups and downs of life.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, man, he's just been patient with me through all of it, and like he didn't stop loving me even if I wasn't giving him all the time in the world, or even if I wasn't walking the good walk for a season or two. He's always been there, and it's just an amazing thing to kind of know and rest with and kind of like lean into a little bit, so maybe I can do a better job in the future and know that like, hey, if I mess up, I can always come running back,
Yeah, and I love that you say rest with, man, because I feel like that's a point where you've really grown to, is that like not only do I have like the head knowledge about this stuff, now I have the heart knowledge because I walked through this, and I'm continuing in with God, but I'm not forgetting these things.
Yeah.
Like I'm remembering God's faithfulness when I went through like, the deep, dark depression that some people went with through COVID. Now, in a funny note, man, for COVID for me, it was the opposite, because like I was like, oh my gosh, like the first time like I was really actually reading the Bible, and when they say some celebrity pastors, which I'm like, will say this, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of wonky, but I kind of believe it now too. They're like, don't just read the Bible, let the Bible read you. Meaning,
Mm-hmm.
like, let let the word like work in you, and
Yeah.
not just like,
Yeah.
cool. I read Philippians 1. This is awesome. The start of something
Mm-hmm.
great, and now I can't wait for tomorrow. And I do my own thing. It's like even Mr. Birch, who I would love to have on at another point too. One of the worship leaders that led the world and a huge impact on my life was even in during high school we would do these things for called soaks that obviously like
Yeah.
and for people that aren't aware of it's like basically like graded devotionals which
Well,
in
graded as in participation, I would say.
right.
It wasn't like how spiritual are you? How many verses?
I heard
can
a
you
couple. I heard a
quote?
couple times. To be fair, there were a couple notes given by certain teachers, like your prayers could be a little bit more thorough. Which I'm like, I'm sure some people could, because some people would just like copy soaks, and I just be like, oh
Oh yeah,
no.
I was one of those guys. Sorry, teachers
I
out
had
there.
done it before
Yeah.
once in a great while, but you
Oh,
know, trying to fit that in, man, like in homeroom.
I think
10 minutes before, I'm like, you're like, wow, this is a little bit more difficult and challenging than I thought. And
yeah.
there's like a good amount that I have to write down because like you didn't have to fill up the whole section, but there's at least like 6, 7, 8 lines where you.
Hmm.
And then some people like would write in cursive and long letters so they can take up more room
Yeah.
on the lines.
I learned how to space out my letters and my words very well in that
Yeah.
time. I think you were saying it was hard to do in in that short time frame right before. I was thinking
Yeah.
like it was hard to do it with that maturity level. Like
Yeah.
that's why I would like just make it all up and just like write down as many words and long words as I could think. Just because like maturely, I was just not there. Maturely? Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, close enough.
Let's
man.
make up words.
Mature.
Maturity.
That is, dude. I'm stumped, bro. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
Dude, that's the fun thing about
Maturely,
words. You
whatever.
can make them up nowadays.
We making up words, man.
Yeah.
This is the last house on the left, man. Come on. And yeah, even about soaks, man. Like it's just very interesting because I've talked with a lot of people and I agree with them to a certain point where they're like, this was wrong. You shouldn't have. This shouldn't have been necessary. This shouldn't have been, um, kind of forced on. And I'm like, yes, and I'm glad that I did it, but also it like was like a pain in the ass. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
At times, um, but thankfully, and to be honest, man, I didn't really do a lot of like even now. I guess I should do, even through therapy and different um, other aspects, even like with my mentors and stuff like because we were talking about earlier upstairs how we're verbal processors like.
Hmm.
Me, like my mom said, Ben, you have verbal diarrhea. I'm like, sorry, Mom. Like, it's probably also the ADHD. To a
Yeah,
certain
you should see
degree.
what's going on up here. It's much worse. I promise you that.
But writing things down is good, and
Hmm.
it's funny because even for me, dude, like I know you were just saying about like highlighting and underlining your Bible.
Hmm.
Sometimes I would do it. I would just start getting carried, away. Like
If
you're
you
in
highlight-
Proverbs, you're like, this is really good.
If you highlight everything, you've highlighted nothing.
Oh, that's good.
That comes from somewhere, I swear.
No, that comes from you, man.
No, that comes from somewhere. But
That is interesting because it's like I don't think I had a lot of friends that were like this, but even sometimes we'd be going to these Bible conferences, even with my church, and I was like, dang, I'm like, dude, they're in like Leviticus, they're in Judges, and it's like it's littered. There's like not only is there like highlighting, there's underlying and
There's
underscoring,
notes.
there's stars.
yeah. Yeah.
You're writing on the side, and I'm just like, man, it's like respectfully, I can't hang with y'all because you're just
Respectfully, I'm still working on the Old Testament, man.
right. Have you ever tried to read through the Bible in a year?
No, I'm trying to right now. I'm still setting it up. I've gone through the New Testament twice now,
Wow.
just in my lifetime, not this year. I've gone through parts of the Old Testament, like Genesis, Exodus, like the easy ones.
And then you skipped Leviticus, right?
I tried Leviticus, man. I really did. I did get stuck.
It's so
though.
bad, apparently.
I got through like half of it. I'm like, what am I reading? Like,
I could not do the Bible through a year because you have to do 4 chapters a day.
Yeah, yeah, that's a lot. And
And I just hate it. Like, even on a random note, not to cut you off, but I was
mhm,
like, I just got this the fifth book in the Inheritance Cycle, which is like the Aragon series, and it's
mhm,
like a 700-page book. And it's like, dude, like honestly, right now, right now, I bought it like 2 weeks ago, and I read the first chapter and haven't like made any dent on it. But like, dude, how many times do I like read like Harry Potter or Inheritance Cycle or some other like
mm,
fantasy book? And I'm like, dang, I can't do like. I could read like a letter, like I could do
mhm,
Philippians and whatever, but sometimes I'm like, uh, it's weird because also when you read the Bible, like it's not. I think I was actually, yeah, I never really got back to this, but what I was saying about Mr. Birch earlier is that his thing was like was mind blowing to me because just being a really solid like he also not only was he the worship leader at church,
mhm.
but he was kind of like basically one of the youth leaders, and then he would preach sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, and like his biggest thing, I remember when I was telling him like, where should I start with reading the Bible and doing this? And he's like, honestly, do a chunk a day. I'm like, what's a chunk? And then he's like, sometimes Ben, I have even days where I don't read the Bible and I don't even have an excuse. It's like, what? And then he's like, yeah, but there's certain verses that like that I'll read and like God will highlight it to me and then I'll like chew on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at the time I was like, okay, that doesn't really help me. But then I was just amazing that one of like a guy like that where I was like he obviously was not saying of course like just read this little much, but it's like really um,
Really
sink
get
your
into
teeth
it.
into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sink your teeth into it. Don't just read it to say you read 4 chapters. Actually read it.
I
And
know, and stop putting it on your Instagram story with your open Bible. Now that I think about it, on my Instagram, I do have one from like 2 years ago where like I think I have it. Oh, we're filming on my phone right now, but like there's, I think there is. It's like Psalms 1 is like he who does not sit in the counsel of the wicked, nor sit in the seat of scoffers, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and he meditates on it day and night. Something like that. I think I do actually have that highlighted because I'm like, once in a while, like I'm very much in the way of like, oh, I don't want to be like all these social media people, and then also I'm like, relax, bro. Like you take like half the photos on my Instagram look like they got taken with like a potato.
dude,
You know,
I was
it's like,
just
is this 2006? No, it's like 2023.
I was
man.
just talking to someone about this. I'm like, I remember when Instagram used to be like so much more fun. Like you just post random pictures and they would not be great quality.
Yeah.
But it was just like it was so much fun. It was new. Like there wasn't like all these like commercialized stuff and
Yeah, now there's like
feed.
movies on stuff, and like either
Dude,
whether
it's
you're
so
following YouTubers
much.
or TikTokers or all this other stuff, it's like dang, they're like shooting this on.
Yeah.
They're not just shooting it on like an iPhone 14 or whatever.
Mhm.
Like there's other stuff going on here, and you see like drone stuff. And you're
Yeah,
like, dang.
and now of course the iPhone 14 can basically take a movie itself because it has like 5 cameras on it. Now.
Yeah.
Something
Insane,
like
man.
that.
Yeah, and right now I have Shane's old iPhone 6 because my iPhone 10 I left in a rainstorm on a golf course.
Dude, the iPhone 6, that was one of my favorite phones.
I know, but
think.
even like, dude, even it's pretty. It's the screen itself isn't that.
It
is pretty big.
It's the perfect amount of technology where it's not too much. Like I don't even like. It's just so much.
What is that? An iPhone?
I don't even know,
10?
dude. I don't know. It's 11, 10. I don't know. It has 3 cameras. That's what I know it by.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
And I used to be the guy that would watch like the Apple announcements and stuff. But
Yeah.
like they haven't innovated in like 5 years. And it's just
Yeah.
like, do I really need it? Nah.
Yeah.
We've got enough.
Will I be buying it though? You never know.
Eh.
It's more. Yeah.
Well, I only got this because my family switched to T-Mobile and they just gave me a free phone. So I'm like, all right, I'll take it.
Yeah.
But just because I wanted a better battery.
It's so
Like,
crazy though, man. The storage on my phone is terrible. Like when I film like a pod or whatever,
yeah.
I have to like clear everything and then like
Yeah.
still put it on there.
Mhm.
And even last time when I did my pod with Dan, we were talking about movies and stuff. We had to like do a part on my phone and part on his phone because I'm like, I have 32 gigabytes.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was.
I have like 6 photos on my phone. Maybe.
So the phone was free, but I paid an extra like $200 so I could get. I think it's 500 gigabytes or something, or 200 something.
Wow.
I don't even know how much, but it was just
Dang.
like twice as much as what I used to have. I'm like, this is all that I need, like, just because all the pictures and
Yeah. And like I said, my sisters, they'll have like, I mean, it'll be backed up through iCloud, I think, but they'll have like 2,000 photos. It's like, dang,
bro, you think that's a lot? I guarantee
Really?
you, guarantee you, I probably have like 8,000.
Are you serious?
I had to delete. I have 5,000 photos and 800 videos.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. I had to delete like 1,000 of them also. Because I got an iCloud thing, so I can have 50 gigs on the iCloud, but it was too much. So I'm like, I just have to go through and I delete a bunch of like screenshots and stuff, like just random stuff, whatever. But
really?
Yeah.
That's funny because it's just like, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of screens, and honestly, a lot of stuff from like work too. Like half my stuff the past year is just work stuff.
Yeah.
Just because like I need to take pictures of every little thing to document it. And
yeah.
Now it lives on my phone.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting how like our parents had like photo albums and stuff, and like it was a lot more like select few pictures.
Oh yeah.
And our generation is gonna have so many pictures.
Dude, like everything
from so back
documented.
when.
Like even like having a kid now, like even I think about like Nicole and Vito, for instance, and like now they just like have their. You can literally like. Yeah.
You can just see them grow up on their feet.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Literally.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's interesting. And that was another funny thing that I found funny. Speaking of like my own, how I'm like I want to call out controversy, but then you look at my Instagram and it's whatever. It's like Spotify Wrapped. So did you see my? Did you see a couple of things that I had been posting? This was a couple weeks ago, obviously.
Maybe not. I kind of deleted Instagram for like a month or something. I think that was during Spotify Wrapped season.
Okay, so
I might have missed it.
I was basically I was like reposting some stuff of people dunking on like nobody cares about your Spotify Wrapped when all these girls like, dude, you want to know what my Spotify Wrapped is? It's Taylor Swift, Morgan Wallen, like Adele, and like something else, and then it's like all mine, which is just like alternative like metalcore or like pop punk, and then like one worship band.
Yeah,
it's like So even though I would be posting that, I'm like, well, guys, here's mine, because I'm like, of course, a couple of these bands like Holding Absence and Sleep Token, I'm in the top 3%, and one of the other ones I'm in the top 0.01, just because I listen to them all the time. And I was mentioning this to you because I had like I had like 37,000 like minutes or whatever, and then I'm like this is a lot, because I was asking like Shane and other people, and then I asked you randomly because I think you were there when we were talking about it. Yeah, I got like 50K at least. Or no, it was 100K, wasn't it?
250K every single year, dude.
That's nuts, dude.
See, that's the thing. Like, I can't even post mine because I listen to music while I sleep. So it's
I do that too.
Whatever playlist that I have going, I use the same one for probably like 6 months. So whatever 50 songs, whatever those artists are, they are all in the top 5, 100%. I am on the 0.0001% listener of like 2 or 3 of them. I'm like, yep, I sleep to them every single night.
Well, let me guess let me guess like a couple of them. Was one must be Zach Bryan, right?
No.
Really?
No.
MGK? No, not you.
Sleep?
No, when you sleep. No.
Why sleep? No.
Are they?
No. Zach Bryan was. I think he was 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, not NF, because you haven't listened to him a lot. And
I listen to him still.
You don't listen to that much to MGK right now, because none of us are really.
No.
We were a ton when we were living together.
Yeah.
Who else then?
When I sleep, I mostly put on like Christian contemporary music, so it's
like a Hillsong or Elevation.
No, that's more like worship, more like laid back, like low key, because like I just
lo-fi. You mean?
Close, yeah, kind of. Chris Renzema, if you've heard of him.
Yes, yeah.
He's probably one of my favorite artists of all time. Him and Jarvis Campbell.
Okay, interesting.
Those two have been like top 5 past couple years, just because they're on my sleep playlist.
Gotcha.
But they're very like just low key Christian stuff.
Yeah,
but
that's
also
good stuff to fall asleep to.
Zach Bryan and my boy Noah Khan.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Right.
I forget the 5th one, but.
Not gonna lie, I don't really love Noah Khan's music, but I think it's Dial Drunk where he's like, he's saying something like, "I'm not proud of all the punches that I've thrown."
Yeah,
I'm like, oh,
yeah.
that's a good line.
Yeah.
And plus, he's a local dude too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Vermont, baby.
Yeah.
Gotta respect it.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, it's interesting with all the just like it's so cool how like Spotify is able to go and like put all that out, because then you get to just see like, once again, there's just so many little nuances about your own Spotify thing. But then I'm like, I'm just boring because I just listen to the same stuff. I'm very predictable.
I think it would be my dream job to take over Spotify Wrapped. I genuinely believe I can make it better.
Really?
Because all that stuff is just like data and analysis, and like that's how my brain works. Like if I could just look on all the graphs of like how often I'm listening to this person, how many minutes, what songs, like, oh, I'd geek out over all that stuff.
Speak on it. Like, do you have anything specific that you would do?
I would just go into more detail.
Yeah.
I would just make it like you can see like nice pretty pictures you can post online, but like if you want to go into a deep dive, like,
or just like when you go to bed between like 10:23 and 11:15, you are most likely to put on Morgan Wallen or whatever.
Do they share your top playlists?
No, but
they should. They should do whatever playlist that you made, whatever ones you listen to the most. They should have a list of that too. There's an idea right off the dome.
Yeah, how many playlists do you do?
Dude, I make so many playlists.
I honestly don't have a lot.
I have like 200-300 probably.
What?
Dude, making playlists is an art I stand by.
Wow, man.
I love it so much. I'll make some that are like...
I didn't realize you could have that many.
Oh, yeah. It tells you every time that you make it. I think it's like...
I probably have like 20.
257, I would guess.
I have probably 20 or 30 in
playlists. Oh, 160. Oh, maybe I'm thinking
still, that's a lot. That's a lot, man.
Playlists. Dude, like, I'll go through them and, like, I have themes and, like, I'll make new ones of them.
Yeah. And that's funny, too, because, like, also, I think even Apple Music does, like, Apple Wrapped or something.
Yeah, something like
that.
Like,
dude, you couldn't come up with a slightly different name?
I think they have a different name, but it's the same exact thing, but it's just...
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I remember I got Apple Music for free for 6 months at some point. So I started using that, and then Spotify Wrapped came along. I'm like, why would I ever go over to Apple Music?
Yeah.
And like, that was the tipping point. I'm like, there's no point. It looks a little bit better, I think, but...
Yeah.
And all my playlists are already in Spotify.
Well, also, if you listen to any podcasts on Spotify, like, you get the video, too.
Oh, do you not get an Apple?
Huh?
Do you not get that?
I don't think so, no.
Oh.
No. Because I listen to some of the stuff I listen to on... Because I listen to a ton of podcasts now. Because when I do FedEx, is like... I listen to this one called Dateline NBC, which is actually... it's videos... Because Dateline NBC is called... I think that's the show is Dateline. And it's part of NBC.
Yeah.
And it's like murder mystery stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're like 100 or like an hour and 20 minutes. But I wonder if it's like probably a 2-hour segment, because like parts of it, like I've looked up the stuff like on like a random case they were doing, and then the full video is out on YouTube, and I was like, oh, it's just like the whole thing, but set to just audio, and that's on Apple things. But sometimes I listen to this one podcast by this guy Tim Ross, who's he's one of the pastors that brought up Mike Todd, who you've probably heard of.
Oh, yeah.
He's like a celebrity pastor. Mike Todd's kind of off his rails these days, but Tim's podcast is awesome. I've sent you a couple clips from him before.
Oh, yeah, and I remember one.
Yeah, he's got like the big glasses, and he's always he's kind of like
big frames.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big frames and like
dude, that's coming back. That style, I've seen it many times recently.
Yeah, honestly, it's funny because I need to actually go and get my own glasses because my eyes were so bad. Like once I had the chemical burn in my eye, when I did an eye test, and it was like really bad. Like they're like, okay, try to look at this, and you know how they have the. I'm sure you've done obviously an eye test before, and I could only read on the third line, and I was like really trying.
Wait, do you do contacts?
No, dude. I kind of like got wigged out by them. I haven't worn glasses since really high school, and I really should. Because I have an astigmatism, so one of my eyes is just more like the shape is more messed up than the other. So when I put glasses on, it's just like doing like HD or 4K as we say now. But yeah, that's one of the things where I just I used to wear like the old man glasses that were very like
I
thin
remember
and,
those. Yeah,
like this. Looks like it
thin
looked like,
rectangular.
yeah, it looked like the is it the grandma from like the Incredibles, like Etna Mode, like the little short
Oh
lady,
yeah,
like
yeah.
her glasses. But then I'm like, kind of the big rims are like making a comeback, so I'm like, maybe I should get into those. But also, I feel like I look weird with glasses. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
But
hoping I can just avoid all that type of stuff.
yeah,
That's the hope.
that's the hope, anyways.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely couldn't do contacts. Dude, eyes freak me out so much. I just,
yeah.
dude, it's
Oh,
bad.
like remember when Rob would try to
Dude,
like
I'm literally looking
Rob
away.
would try to like flip his eyelid in front of you, and
Dude,
you like couldn't handle it.
I can't handle it at all. I think I've gotten a little bit better recently. I literally like I started just watching like YouTube videos of people like putting in contacts to kind of like lean into it a little bit and like be like, I'm gonna force myself to watch this.
Did you see like my eye? You saw my eyes at
Dude,
the
I couldn't
Halloween
look.
party.
Yeah, I know. I
was-
literally couldn't look at you.
I was in
I'm like,
so much pain those couple days, dude. It was so awful.
like, it sounds so bad, but like,
I would wake up, bro. My eyes would be shut because the discharge
yeah,
between my eyelashes would harden, and you could get it off. But I remember
Oh,
a
dude.
couple times I would wake up and I couldn't do this. I couldn't like. I had to take off work from FedEx. This was when I was in training.
if you're
And I had
listening,
to
I have
pry
my
it
eyes
open.
closed right now because
Yeah.
he's touching his eyes, and I'm a child.
No, I'm just saying I had to open it.
Yeah, I wonder where that comes from, but
Yeah, I don't know, man. It was brutal. It was really brutal. I honestly wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy because that was like really really rough.
I actually did kind of like, I don't know if this was like something that I internally buried, but I do think I remember where it might stem from. When I was a child, I had one of those glow bracelet things, and I snapped it, and the glow juice like squirted in my eye.
Oh my god! That
I
must have
remember
killed.
this night so vividly for no reason, dude. I was like a kid. Like, I don't remember a lot of stuff when I was like anything under 6, 7 years old.
Yeah,
but I
me neither.
remember this night I was in so much pain, and then I had to do eyedroppers, I think.
Oh yeah. Oh my
And
god.
my mom had to like pin me down to get them.
Oh, I'm terrible with it too because I had to do
Oh.
it. I had to do it when yeah, just when I had the problem with my eye.
Dude, I was throwing haymakers. I'm like,
oh yeah.
get out.
And then even when I'm like, it was so bad at this point where I'm just like, oh please do it. And
Ugh.
so when so even though then I had to put like ointment also like right underneath like right where my eyelash was, and then kind of like put it up in my eye that way, which did help. But I remember I was doing the eye wash station because it had been 2 days. So basically, what ended up happening was I was spraying the chemical or bleach,
Yeah.
and then the wind just threw it back in my face. And usually we have like a stronger solution that we'll use on roofs
Yeah.
that's not mixed with water. And there's a times where like it'll spray in your face, it's awful. And so,
Oh.
but it must have just hit me like really solidly because
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, my eyes kind of cloudy, and then I couldn't get out of my eyes for the rest of the day. I'm like, this sucks. And then the next day was like, this one was getting better. Like, but then I woke up and then I was having problems with my eyes. I'm like, damn. And then we were doing, I don't know what happened, and we were doing, the next day we were just doing gutter cleaning, so we weren't working with chemicals at all. And then it somehow spread over to my other eye, probably because,
Oh.
and it wasn't conjunctivitis, like pink eye. It was like the chemical burn.
Yeah.
And I just remember like the next couple of days, it was just like a living hell. Because sometimes I would like I'd take a nap or whatever, and like I'd close my eyes, and my eyes would still be irritated. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm like struggling, all this stuff.
Mhm.
It was so rough, man. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I wouldn't put that on my worst enemy, man.
Did
That
you
was tough.
take medication or eye drops? Or?
Yeah, so like eventually I hated eye drops like you,
Mhm.
but then it would give me such relief after a while.
Oh,
But
okay.
once you would put it in though, like it would
Yeah.
sting a little bit, but my eyes would be blurred for like 10 minutes, but then it would like slightly get
Mhm.
better. So it wasn't the end of it. But yeah, like I said, we had our Halloween party and we were at our friend's place, and I was dressed up as Michael Myers, and I'm like in a funny way, I was like thinking before all this happened a couple weeks before the party, and I was like, oh, maybe because I like to go all out because I spent like freaking $80 on that Halloween mask, and it's like I literally like ripped part of the mouth before I like even started, and I was like, now I had to rip the other side, and I still have it, but even though that's such a cool like an iconic outfit, which a lot of people don't understand. Like there were some really good like horror outfits that me, Shane, and Thibodeau had, but they weren't. People didn't appreciate it because they just hadn't watched the movies. Because
Yeah.
I was I was Michael Myers. Shane was Art the Clown from Terrifier, and then Thibodeau was Patrick Bateman from American Psycho, which he was dressed to the nines. Like he had like the extra, the clear poncho on, and like all this stuff and whatever. But I forget where I was going with that.
Yeah, I think that's the only one I've seen.
Yeah.
I didn't know the name. American Psycho?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't we watch that maybe at the house?
Yeah. Yeah. That's the first time I watched it.
And then it's funny because once again, as I was saying, I didn't. I wanted to get contacts just to make it extra creepy with the mask on. But after like 5 minutes, like I don't care. You just can't breathe in it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how people who can perform like the Blue Man Group or I guess the Blue Man Group, they don't wear masks, right?
No, they just paint their faces blue.
Oh, even like some of these like bands that I follow, like Slipknot or these other guys, like you play for like an hour or two, and like in this mask, I'm like, I don't know how you guys do it. There's so much sweat and stuff. I could only do it for like 15 minutes.
Do you remember in high school your Bigfoot costume?
Yeah.
And you let me borrow that for robotics competitions.
Oh yeah, whatever happened with that?
I gave it back to you.
No, I mean, yeah, I remember that. I mean, what did you use to add a competition?
Dude, it was just like a meme that got out of hand. I'm like,
really?
You gotta lean into it a little bit. So we just put a picture of Harambe on our robot. This was when Harambe died.
Yeah.
And like, dude, all respect to that gorilla, man.
Yeah.
He's a G. But I just put a picture of it on our robot, and then people just started calling us the Harambe team or whatever. And then like the announcer guy was really into it, and like I like to put on a show. Like you got to give the audience something.
Did you like win with it?
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh, nice.
We were half decent
because people probably wouldn't like. Oh, this are Harambe guys. They don't know. They're just doing it for kicks or whatever.
It was like a full body costume of Bigfoot, and she's like, isn't exactly Harambe, but people got the point very quickly, and people loved it. But like having the mask on and stuff, like, oh, it was dreadful. I remember we did like whatever. We would have like 6 or 7 like matches during the competition, and by the last one, like we were already out of the playoffs or whatever, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So I operated the robot with the mask on, and like you could kind of see a little bit out, but you could. It was just for the laugh.
That's awesome, man. Do you know the reason why I bought that, by the way?
To scare someone?
No, so like me and Chris, because I always like when I was younger, I always wanted to make movies and stuff.
Oh.
So we wrote. I have it upstairs. Me and Chris wrote a whole script. I remember we wrote it in this like red 5-star notebook.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote it out, the whole thing by hand, and we were gonna film it at Purgatory Falls, where we filmed part of our senior project, because we just went nutty for the for the whole Shakespeare Festival for all of our projects. But I got it because of that, and so I bought that with my own money when I was working at Market Basket, like doing like a 5 to 9 on Friday and like a 4 to 9 on Saturdays, and like that thing was like $80 too, which for me back then might as well have been like $200 or $300 at that point.
Yeah.
And because all you're using your money for those days was like frickin' Wendy's, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so funny because that thing, we brought it to a couple like class get-togethers in the summer. There's a picture, if you go on my Facebook, where there's a picture of me like I'm like wearing it. Joe wanted me to wear it. It became like a thing for our class.
Yeah.
And there's a picture of like me like with like on a swing, and I'm like wearing the costume or whatever just for kicks, but I'm like. I was wearing it in the hot summer, so you start sweating in that thing, it is literally like a microwave.
Oh.
Plus, I got like chlorine on the thing. We had one time where we put Bigfoot in one of our, I think our junior year, we were doing like a stupid, either Shakespeare Festival or something else. I tackled Joe in the snow and I got it wet, and then it just smelled.
Dude,
like, now it smells like a Sasquatch, bro.
Smelled so bad.
Yeah.
There's no way
you can get away around it. Yeah.
You can make it a little bit better, and then it just comes right back. I'm trying to find a picture of me in it, but it might be too much of a hassle to go back.
No, that's cool, because if not, we can send it to Greg and we can pull it up and showed on the thing. Um, but
Oh, okay. In post.
yeah, in post. Shout out to you, Greg. Um, but yeah, man, that was so. It's so
Ugh.
funny too, because like back when you were younger, you think like when something smells bad, you're like, oh, I'm just gonna like go and like dump Febreze. Like you know how people like do like Febreze, or you take like a dump in the bathroom and you're like,
Do you say when you're a kid?
yeah,
Hi, I'm still a kid.
oh yeah, yeah, and this is one of the a really funny stories. So when I was in eighth grade, we had we had like this class trip that we were on to Cape Cod because like
Yeah.
most I don't know if you guys went to Cape
Yeah.
Cod when you were in eighth grade, and we had this one time where basically like I was borrowing. I remember I thought Joe was wearing these like your brother-in-law was wearing these like cool like MMA things that sweatshirts, and I thought they had this just like cool little design and whatever, and I was in eighth grade, so I thought it was sick. I didn't want to wear my stupid lumberjack thing from Walmart, which I found. I'm like, Joe, I love this like coat. Where's it from? He's like, oh, I got it from Walmart, and whatever. So long story short, I got this sweatshirt wet, but then I still wanted to wear it or whatever because you know when you're a kid, you just like wear everything to the nth degree, and it smelled because it was like the inside of it was like kind of like mesh, almost like what you got going on there.
Yeah.
Shout out to that coat, bro. That is,
Dude, $25.
I love it. Yeah.
Shout out TJ Maxx.
Shout out TJ Maxx, dude. We need to talk about TJ Maxx and Marshalls.
Dude, we need to get a sponsor deal. Oh
I
my
know,
gosh.
I know.
Dude, I'll talk them up. I
We
talk them
will
up so
gas
much,
'em up.
dude. Oh, they. Telling you, man.
Yeah. So, anyways, basically, long story short, I wanted to wear it. It was still slightly wet, so I creamed it with Axe, dude.
Dude.
I creamed it with
Oh,
Axe, and so
Axe.
it was so bad, dude. Like I even like I'm like because I did literally this. Like say this is like my shirt or whatever, and I just go literally this like.
Dude.
I walk. So then I'm riding in the car with like me, Joe, and Sonia, and then Mrs. Eastman.
Yes.
Or no, it wasn't Sonia. Who was it? It was. I don't think Joe was there. I think it was me, Sonia, Mrs. Eastman, and Chris. Right. So I walk in, and then Chris goes, and Mrs. Eastman goes, "Wow, that's strong." And then I pretended like nothing was going on, and then Chris goes, "Oh, I have a headache." Which then I'm like, "Yeah, Chris, because you're allergic to, whatever I was saying. You're allergic to hygiene and just stupid like eighth grade stuff." But I'm like, it was
Dude,
like to
nothing
be honest
like
now.
axe bombing and
Oh my
junior
goodness,
high.
man!
Oh,
Now I try to stay away from it, but
dude,
and
Old Spice, baby.
yeah,
Never steer me wrong.
yeah. I have this original flavored flavor. Oh my god! Have you seen people
It's a
eat it?
flavor?
I meant scent, the original scent or whatever, and I'm like, because I'm just like, usually I get whatever's at Target at the
Yeah.
time, and I forget what. It's just
The
weird.
original
like,
scent?
yeah, it's the original scent or whatever. I'm like, man, this is pretty basic for deodorant or whatever. But have you seen people like eat deodorant before? It is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. Like gel deodorant, they're like, oh, bro. I literally, you have a problem with eyes, bro, dude. I couldn't do it. Like they'll like roll up the stick and they'll be like.
I
gross.
understand the appeal. Do you know stuff that like you shouldn't eat, but it looks really good?
Yeah, but it doesn't look
like
that
Tide
good.
Pods, dude. Like, dude, you can't tell me
I don't
Tide Pods look juicy,
I don't
bro.
understand. Yeah, but like you want to pop it.
Yeah, I want to pop it. 100%.
Oh, like this?
Yeah.
Oh my
Dude,
gosh.
I want to eat them
But
up
people
like
were getting
gushers.
killed because they were eating.
Yeah, dude. Shout out to our generation. Nothing like us. Ooh, it looks like candy. It must be.
Yeah, I remember the first time someone told me that too. I was like stocking shelves at Target, and I was like, "Oh man, it smells good." And then one of the kids I was with was like, "Yeah, people are dying on that, right?" I'm like, "Why? Why?" I'm like, "They're eating it." I'm like, "Why would they do that?" It's like, "Who knows, dude?"
It's a
I'm like,
social media trend.
yeah.
Oh.
But on a funny note, man, like speaking of like fragrances and stuff, I get a lot of cologne now, even just from Marshalls
TJ Maxx, baby.
and TJ Maxx. Yeah.
Never steer me.
That's what I literally go for that for everything, pretty much. At least clothes wise, it's like even I'll get like Goodfellow once again from Target and stuff, but I'm like that's like it's pretty like cheap and whatever. Even like these sweats I'm wearing are wicked comfortable and they're from TJ Maxx and Marshalls. And it's funny because whenever I go to the checkout, they're always like, "Do you want a card?" or do you have like an account with us or whatever? I'm like, I know my sisters and family do, and then I never get it. I'm like, dude, I go so often myself, I might as well bite the bullet.
Dude, there's a plaza near my house. You work there, obviously. Target,
Yeah, yeah.
TJ Maxx, Panera Bread. I live at that plaza basically.
Yeah.
It's like 2 minutes away from my home. Dude, I love that thing. And like,
And
those are like the
Texas Roadhouse.
three. Those are the three like white girl places. I feel like I'm like, dude, I eat it up, baby. Dude, I don't care. Dude, those are the best places.
Oh man, dude.
Get a coffee, get a bagel, go over, get some clothes from TJ's, and then get necessities from Target.
Right.
Boom.
Right, and then meet up with me at Texas Roadhouse.
Dude, I haven't been to Texas Roadhouse in forever.
Yeah.
I heard they don't do the peanuts there anymore or something like
Really?
that. Like, it's not like everywhere.
Yeah,
now.
because it's a freaking mess over there all the time, man.
Dude, but that's the aesthetic.
Yeah.
That's why you go.
I guess so, man. But I just can't. I'm like a sinner for bread, dude.
Yeah.
Literally.
Olive Garden.
Even Olive Garden, or even that place, man. Like you just throw that cinnamon butter on there. Like,
Oh yeah, that is pretty good.
Oh,
It's a very distinct bread flavor.
my mom just gave me a loaf of her own like cinnamon bread, dude. It's incredible.
Dude, now I'm getting hungry. It's time for second dinner.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I know, man. Well, hey, man, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, next time I want to have I want to call it R&R where I have you, me, and Robert on, and we can talk about some
R&R.
sports because there's a lot of stuff going on right now in the sports world with the Celtics and
the in-season tournament.
Pats and forget about the in-season tournament.
Dude,
man.
they're
I'm
putting up
so
a banner.
sorry.
Did you
It's
hear
so
that?
stupid. We got to talk about that real quick.
Ooh, dude, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Really?
Yeah, so on Boston Sports Radio, they were talking about it. First, I'm like, that's so corny and stuff.
Yeah.
But this perspective of it, I really like. So, if a team wins both the in-season tournament and the finals,
Yeah.
that's like a double flex. Like, you can say we were the best team from the front to the back. Like, we dominated this
Yeah,
year.
that is true.
That's kind of just like.
But the
a
Lakers
little-
are the one that won the in-season tournament, though.
And the fact that they're putting it up also, like, they're like one of the prestige of the
Yeah,
league.
right.
And they're
They're one
putting
of
it up.
the-
It's not a poverty
huge markets.
It's not a poverty franchise like the Colts putting up a banner for making it to the AFC Championship in Deflategate year too. But
Whatever, dude.
oh,
Whatever, you know.
but I think it's cool. I think there's room to grow with it too.
Yeah, I just think with the in-season tournament though, like I remember we played the Pacers, and we ended up losing to them.
Yeah.
And then the Pacers went and beat the Bucks, and then the Pacers,
Lakers beat-
Pacers
Yeah.
played the Lakers and whatever. And I remember like Aaron Nesmith. Do you remember him? Like he was like a small forward like shooter or whatever. That was that we signed like 2 years ago. We traded him over to the Pacers because he was god awful
okay.
and never played well. And then he was like talking all this trash and like and doing all this stuff, and like he had one little putback dunk on Al, and he was talking a lot of trash. And then like once like I'm like, dude, I remember I got so bent out of shape because I'm like, man, this guy got in my own head, like this no name guy from like Vanderbilt or whatever, and he was like talking trash on Twitter and whatever, and I was like, yeah, enjoy, and I got so in my feelings. It's like, yeah, enjoy this, Neesmith, while like we'll care about the real trophy and just wait till playoffs. But it's funny, man. Like I just think the whole thing with the in-season tournament is that they're trying to make the regular season interesting because it's so boring.
Well, the thing is,
When it's not.
I would never watch basketball before the NFL ends, and I did this year. So
Wow.
there you go. Well,
man,
I'd watch
we're
if
so
it was like
electric, yeah.
if it's like a really good game like Celtics Bucks, Celtics Lakers, like then maybe I'll tune in if it's a Friday, Saturday night and it's on. Like
Yeah.
sure, but like I tuned in Monday nights and good for them. They got at least one audience, and I know there's more of us out there. It's like ooh, a trophy,
Yeah, I know. That's why everyone's like, oh my god.
shiny object.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. So I just hope they don't, like, if you're gonna do stupid stuff like the in-season tournament, like bring like a one-on-one tournament into the All-Star game or something. Like that would be fun and really cool, and just have it be like 3 dribbles or 5 dribbles for, dudes that don't have it be unlimited because Harden will just dribble for 10 minutes before he does a 4-step back,
Yeah.
3 or whatever. So. Anyways, man, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Love you for coming on. We'll have you on again soon.
Boom.
And that was the last podcast on the left, guys. We will see you next time.
Yep.
Cool. How long was that, bro?
Like 40 minutes, maybe.